Welcome back to the Deep Dive. Today we are analyzing one of the most transformative shifts happening in global industry, Pharma 4.0.
Right.
This isn't just a simple upgrade. It's a complete convergence, really,
Yeah.
of the digital and the physical, and it's revolutionizing how medicine is discovered, made, and delivered. We're talking about building fully intelligent, interconnected, and data-driven operations from start to finish.
That's the absolute key distinction, and that's our mission for this deep dive. Pharma 4.0, it's not a single tool.
Yeah.
It's a whole stack of 5 core technologies, and they have to work in harmony. If you only look at one piece, say, just the AI, you completely miss the big picture.
Right.
So our goal is to really pull out the critical insights on how this convergence unlocks just unprecedented levels of automation, real-time monitoring, and it fundamentally shifts us toward personalized medicine.
Okay, so let's lay out the roadmap. We're going to tackle these 5 foundational pillars one by one.
Sounds good.
We'll start with the connectivity layer, the Internet of Things, then move to the brains of the operation, AI and machine learning.
The intelligence engine.
Exactly. Then we'll explore the factory of the future with digital twins and robotics, and finally, wrap up with trust and integrity through blockchain. So let's jump right in with the foundation, connectivity, the Industrial Internet of Things, or IIoT.
Right.
How does just connecting devices do more than basic monitoring? How does it start to create a truly intelligent factory?
It completely shifts the paradigm. It goes from simple data logging to creating what we call a cyber-physical system. IoT integrates sensors, industrial equipment, and robust networks, and it's all about collecting accurate, high-frequency data in real time.
So it's not just knowing if a machine is on or off?
Not at all. It's about understanding the machine's health at an almost molecular level.
So instead of reacting when a machine breaks down, you can actually see it coming.
Precisely. That is the critical transition from reactive maintenance to predictive maintenance. Your IoT sensors are monitoring these incredibly granular parameters, tiny vibration signatures that signal a bearing is wearing out or subtle temperature shifts in a reactor.
Right.
The system can then alert staff to a probable failure hours, even days, before it actually stops production.
That proactive approach, I mean, the efficiency gain seems obvious, but how does this mountain of data really translate into bottom line business results?
The numbers are pretty dramatic, actually, because all that real-time data feeds directly into broader analytics and AI. Take forecasting. One application, fueled by IoT data, analyzed trends across 224 diseases with 96.5% accuracy.
Wow.
The results were just astounding. A 55.1% reduction in inventory costs and a 22.6% drop in out-of-stock rates. Your old spreadsheet models just can't compete with that.
That's incredible. And that covers the factory floor, but connectivity is just as crucial once the product leaves, right?
Correct.
Especially with things like biologics, vaccines, the whole cold chain challenge.
The cold chain is a massive, massive pain point. A single temperature excursion can render an entire batch of expensive, life-saving medicine completely useless.
The total loss.
Total loss. So IIoT solves this with 247 granular monitoring. Sensors are embedded not just in the shipping container, but sometimes down to the individual package.
So you know exactly when and where something went wrong.
And you get an instant alert. But the regulatory side of it is just as important. The FDA, the WHO, they require meticulous, auditable documentation.
Right, the paper trail.
IoT automates that entire process. It generates pristine, detailed logs without any manual entry, making sure the compliance is as perfect as the delivery. It's the bedrock of Pharma 4.0.
Okay, so once we have that high-quality, continuous stream of data, we need to make sense of it. That brings us to our second pillar, AI and machine learning. If IoT is the nervous system,
then AI is the brain.
Exactly. What can AI do at a scale that human analysts just find impossible?
It's all about the scale and the speed of pattern recognition. An AI can analyze data sets, genomic, chemical, clinical, that are so vast a human team couldn't process them in 100 lifetimes. And this is turbocharging the drug development pipeline.
Okay, so let's break that down. How is deep learning changing that initial R&D?
Well, it's transforming 3 specific areas. First, you have target identification. The AI sifts through genetic and clinical data to find these subtle correlations that pinpoint disease-associated molecular pathways. It tells you what to aim the drug at.
So it finds the target. Then what?
Then, virtual screening. Instead of physically making and testing millions of compounds, which takes years and costs a fortune,
Right.
the AI screens massive virtual libraries of chemicals to predict which ones will bind best to that target. It just weeds out all the dead ends from the start.
It saves a huge amount of time and resources, but can it create totally new compounds?
That's the third phase, and it's maybe the most exciting. De novo drug design. Here, AI algorithms can actually generate novel, brand new chemical structures that researchers might never have even considered. It's turning drug discovery from, years of trial and error chemistry into a highly optimized, digitally guided search.
That is a fundamental change. And once a drug gets into manufacturing, what about quality control? I imagine it's hard for a human inspector to spot every tiny variation.
It is, and AI dramatically raises the bar for what we call good manufacturing practices, or GMP. The AI models are monitoring all those production parameters from the IOT temperature, mixture ratios, you name it, and they can detect tiny, subtle anomalies that a human eye would just miss.
So it spots a problem before it ruins a batch.
Exactly. It allows for immediate pinpoint intervention, ensuring data integrity and, of course, compliance.
This precision is what gets us closer to the ultimate goal, right? Personalized medicine. How does AI finally help us move away from the one-size-fits-all drug?
It's all about deploying deep learning models against what we call multimodal patient data.
Meaning,
Meaning we feed the system everything. Diagnostic images, genetic sequencing, clinical history, text from doctor's notes, data from wearables. By synthesizing all this diverse input, the AI builds highly accurate predictive models that are tailored to the individual.
you had a really powerful example of this earlier.
Yes, the Deep Patient System. It was trained on 700,000 electronic health records, and it showed incredible performance in predicting the likelihood of really complex conditions.
Like what?
Severe diabetes, schizophrenia, various types of cancer. This is the foundation of personalized medicine, knowing who is most likely to benefit from a treatment or suffer an adverse effect before you even administer the first dose.
That predictive power is just. It's a genuine game changer. So we have the data from IoT and the intelligence from AI. Then we get to the actual production environment. Let's start with the digital twin. How is this virtual replica really any different from the old computer simulations that companies have used for decades?
The key differences are dynamism and continuity. An old simulation was static. It was a one-time model based on a bunch of assumptions. A digital twin is a live, breathing, virtual mirror of a physical system, a piece of equipment, or even an entire production line.
A live mirror. I like that.
It's constantly consuming real-time data from all those IoT sensors, which allows it to predict future performance and simulate what-if scenarios with incredible accuracy.
Yeah, so you can basically test drive a process change in the virtual world
Yeah.
without risking a multi-million-dollar batch of drugs in the real world.
Exactly that. In pharma, where materials are so expensive and downtime is just crippling, this is absolutely invaluable. You can test new parameters, you can optimize for yield or purity, all in the twin first.
And we have some hard data on the financial impact of this, right?
You do. There was a major manufacturer that implemented a digital twin for their API production. That's the active pharmaceutical ingredient.
The core of the drug.
Exactly. They achieved a 47% reduction in downtime in just 4 months. It crushed their 30% target. And critically, that translated to $1.15 million in direct cost savings in the first quarter alone.
Wow.
Not to mention, it prevented one catastrophic failure that would have cost $180,000 just to fix. It's
Yeah.
hard proof.
It's undeniable. Okay, so that's the virtual side. On the physical side, we have robotics. Now, robots aren't new, but their use in Pharma 4.0 is highly specialized, isn't it? Especially in sterile environments.
That's the main driver. In aseptic, sterile environments, humans are the single biggest source of contamination.
Right.
So advanced robotics, they eliminate that human variability completely. You get perfect consistency, perfect precision, and zero contamination risk.
But those big isolated robotic arms must be a huge capital expense, and they aren't very flexible.
Correct. And that's where the next evolution comes in, the collaborative robot, or cobot. Yeah, they're smaller, they're more flexible, and they're designed with safety sensors that let them work right alongside human technicians. They are the perfect tool to address labor shortages and boost efficiency at the same time.
So where do the efficiency gains come from? Are they just doing the boring work?
They're handling the repetitive, monotonous tasks, packaging, labeling, scanning, with perfect 24/7 productivity. A study from MIT actually found that human-robot collaboration reduced non-productive time by 85%.
85%, that's a massive jump.
It's huge. The cobots take the rote tasks, and that frees up your skilled human workers to focus on quality assurance, system oversight, and complex problem solving. It makes your workforce more valuable, not obsolete.
Okay, an 85% reduction is an incredible number.
Mhm.
That brings us to our final and maybe most critical pillar, trust and integrity in the supply chain. We have to talk about the threat of counterfeit drugs.
It is a profound, profound public health crisis. The World Health Organization estimates that up to 1 in 10 medical products in low and middle income countries are substandard or just outright fake.
1 in 10.
1 in 10. This kills people, and it completely erodes trust in the entire healthcare system. So the industry needs absolute, non-negotiable traceability.
And blockchain is the proposed solution here.
Yeah.
How does it provide that foundation of trust when a normal database can just be hacked or altered?
Because blockchain offers an immutable, decentralized ledger. Unlike a central database that has a single point of failure, the record is distributed across a whole network of participants. It's virtually impossible to alter a record retroactively.
And you do this by attaching a sort of digital fingerprint to each product.
That's a great way to put it. We attach a unique virtual token or digital signature to every single product. So if a criminal introduces a fake into the supply chain,
It won't have the token.
exactly, it lacks that verified, decentralized digital fingerprint. It makes counterfeits immediately detectable by anyone along the chain, from the distributor all the way to the pharmacist.
Beyond just tracking, I know the real power of blockchain often lies in smart contracts. Can you break down how those automate compliance?
Smart contracts are absolute game changers. They remove manual steps and human error from key decisions. They're basically just agreements encoded on the chain that automatically execute when certain conditions are met.
So the system itself can prevent a bad batch from ever being shipped.
It does. A smart contract can be programmed to immediately and automatically block the shipment of a badge if, for example, it fails a quality test, or if the IoT data shows a temperature breach during storage.
It's a non-negotiable barrier at the factory gate.
Right. And this is where we really see the convergence of the pillars. You have IoT data on the product's condition being written directly onto the blockchain, creating this permanent, verified, end-to-end record of its safety and its efficacy.
That convergence, the data layer meeting the security layer, that really is the full vision. Okay, so we've covered the 5 pillars: IoT, AI, digital twins, robotics, and blockchain. It paints a picture of incredible efficiency and security. But what are the biggest hurdles the industry faces in making this a seamless reality?
There are two main challenges, really. One is technological, and the other is cultural. The tech hurdle is data quality and quantity.
Garbage in, garbage out.
Exactly. AI models, especially deep neural networks, are only as good as the data they're trained on. Inaccurate, incomplete, or siloed data leads to inaccurate results, which in this industry is a lethal risk.
And the second hurdle,
Yeah.
it sounds like it's less about code and more about people.
It is. It's the monumental challenge of mindset and integration. The International Society for Pharmaceutical Engineering, ISPE, they note that to achieve Pharma 4.0, you have to evolve across 4 quadrants at the same time: resources, information systems, processes, and culture.
And why is that so difficult?
Because the pharma industry has, for decades, operated in very rigid silos. R&D doesn't talk perfectly to manufacturing, which doesn't talk perfectly to the supply chain. To really implement Pharma 4.0, you need a fundamental cultural shift. You need collaboration, shared data, shared governance across all of those silos, and that mindset shift. That is arguably the most complex challenge of all.
That need for adaptation seems to be the common thread. And if we circle back for a moment to the AI pillar, you mentioned that deep patient system, the one that can predict someone's likelihood of getting severe diabetes or schizophrenia.
With very high performance, yes.
So here's a final thought for you to consider. If AI systems can provide such early and accurate predictions, how will that change R&D itself? Will the focus shift away from just reactive treatment, curing a disease you already have, to developing preemptive interventions designed to stop a condition before symptoms even appear?
It raises a profound question about the future of medicine itself.
This transformation from cure to prevention, that really seems to define the future value chain of medicine.
Are we moving toward a future where we treat the probability of a disease rather than just the reality of it? It's a powerful thought.
It certainly is. Well, Pharma 4.0 isn't just future tech. It's happening right now, driving safer, more efficient, and more personalized medicine. Thank you for taking us through this deep dive.